tonight on News Central 34.
Changes are coming to CMU's Board of Trustees. We'll have the details from Lansing.
Also from Lansing, a new bill about texting and driving could take effect sooner than you think. All this and more coming up next on News Central 34.
Live from Mount Pleasant's own, this is News Central 34 at 5.
More changes are coming to the health care bill. Good evening and welcome to News Central 34. I'm Randy Oja.
And I'm Mary Klink. One final part of the health care bill is expected to go to President Obama early next week. Last night, the Senate passed the Fixes bill. This bill is an addition to the health care reform bill. It adds over $60 billion to the total cost through expanding subsidies for lower and middle class families. Some other specifics include closing the donut hole for prescription drugs in Medicare. The bill eliminates a provision that would have exempted Nebraska from new Medicare expenses. It reduces the fine on individuals who do not purchase health insurance, but raises the fine on large companies who do not provide health insurance. The bill was passed 220 to 207 without a single Republican voting for it. Now, there's still a lot of tension between Democrats and Republicans in Congress. They're pointing fingers and assigning blame.
That's right, Mayor, but at least those disagreements have not led to actual violence in Congress. But Michigan Congressman Bart Stupak is among several members of Congress who have been targets of nasty phone calls, threats, vandalism, and violence since the vote. You may recall Congressman Stupak received backlash over his vote on the health care reform. Now, as the pro-life Democrat heads home to northern Michigan during a congressional break, police will be increasing patrols around Stupak's Menominee home. Initially opposed to passing the health care reform bill, Stupak changed his vote after receiving word from the White House that President Obama would keep current restrictions in place on the use of federal funds for abortion.
Michigan Attorney General Mike Cox is refusing to back down in his fight against the recent health care reform. According to Cox's spokesperson Joy Yearout, Cox believes the reform is unconstitutional.
This week, Governor Granholm has come out saying that the Attorney General doesn't represent her opinions on health care. But the Attorney General is authorized under the Constitution to file this lawsuit, and he has offered a team of attorneys to the governor if she wishes to defend Obamacare in federal court. He will give her the resources to do so.
Now, while Cox continues to gain support from Republicans, you think the Democrats would be weighing in, wouldn't you, Randy?
It's interesting that you bring that up today, Mary, because the Democrats finally had their response to Cox's input on this lawsuit. The chairman of the Michigan Democratic Party, Mark Brewer, blasted Cox for joining the Florida lawsuit that hopes to block federal health care from the reform plan. Brewer called the lawsuit frivolous and a waste of taxpayer money. He also claimed Cox is using the issue to boost his gubernatorial bid. Brewer believes Cox wants to take away insurance and keep prescription benefits from millions of Michigan residents. A spokesperson for the Michigan Republican Party quickly countered Brewer's statement, saying the Democratic staff needs a refresher course in the basic principles of American government.
Governor Granholm has appointed 3 new members to the Central Michigan University Board of Trustees. These members include Ronald C. Edmonds of Midland, Kevin F. Kelly of Redford, and Robert F. Wardrop of Grand Rapids. These 3 will succeed Gail Toriano, Stephanie Comey, and Jacqueline Garrett.
Governor Granholm actually believes that all 3 appointees, and of course that's Robert Wardrop, Ronald Edmonds, and Kevin Kelly, she believes they are leaders in the community who are committed to higher education.
The CMU Board of Trustees consists of 8 members who are appointed by the governor with consent from the state Senate and authority of the state constitution. This board's most important responsibility is to appoint and evaluate the university president at Central Michigan.
Texting and driving is quickly becoming one of the nation's most important safety concerns. Now Lansing is stepping in to help stop the dangerous practice. News Central 34's Wade Shields has the details.
Michigan Senate passed a law that would make it illegal to text while you drive. This would reduce it from a secondary offense to a primary offense, allowing police officers to cite you for a ticket on the spot for texting. I went around the Mount Pleasant community and Central Michigan University just to see what other people felt about the texting ban.
I think it's a good thing. I text a lot as well, but texting and driving is really dangerous, so it's really better for everyone.
I think that it's a good idea because texting is distracting, and I heard that texting is just like driving drunk.
I don't believe texting is good while driving, or actually being on a cell phone is good. Too many accidents can happen.
The new Senate version would make texting while driving a primary offense starting July 1st, meaning police could pull over and cite motorists just for texting. Fines would be $100 for a first offense and $200 for each offense after that. The texting ban has picked up momentum in Michigan recently because of publicly surrounding accidents caused by distracted driving. The main bill in the package passed the Republican-led chamber by a 28-10 vote, with only Republicans in opposition. It now advances to the Democrat-led House, which isn't expected to take up the new measure until returning from a scheduled 2-week break that ends in mid-April. Wade Shields for News Central 34.
The Isabella County Trial Court is implementing a new probation program focusing on positive reinforcement and quick punishment for bad behavior. The program was outlined by Chief Judge Paul Chamberlain, who said the sooner punishment is given, the less likely the probationer is to reoffend. The judge expects the program's projected high rehabilitation rate will save the county money by keeping defendants out of jail.
Gratiot County will soon be home to Michigan's largest wind farm. Planning commissions from Emerson, Bethany, Wheeler, and Lafayette townships unanimously approved a permit to build more than 100 wind turbines in the area. The turbines are expected to power over 500,000 homes and are likely to be operational by the fall of 2011. Greater Gratiot Development President David Schur said the farm will keep Michigan on the cutting edge of alternative energy.
A community has bonded together to help pay for the funeral of Matthew Poole. Oakland County resident Lori Bonjero is working to set up a trust fund for Poole's father, who is in need of financial support. Bonjero hopes to raise a few $1,000s through donations and a possible benefit dinner.
State tourism officials are preparing to cut back as funding for the Pure Michigan campaign is running out. According to reports, the $15 million approved by the state legislature for the campaign yesterday is roughly half of last year's budget. Some Democrats want to raise money for the national advertising campaign by adding an additional $2.50 to airport vehicle rentals. However, most Senate Republicans are not on board with the proposal.
And that's all we have for this evening. Thanks for tuning in. For News Central 34, I'm Mary Klink.
And I'm Randy Oja. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.